All right, so today Microsoft held its business update, and we have more information than we expected about the health of Xbox, its future plans in hardware and software, and even surprise Game Pass announcements. First and foremost, Phil Spencer came out the gate eager to address the exclusivity rumors and confirmed 4 titles would be coming to other platforms, and not without some qualifiers. These titles are over a year old, they're said to be not as impactful to the brand as they see it, with 2 of them being community-focused and 2 of them being more experiential in how you engage with them. We now know these 4 titles are reportedly Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, Pentiment, and Grounded. When asked about Starfield and Indiana Jones, Phil said that these were not part of the 4, but they weren't ruling out any games as part of possible migration to other platforms. His not ruling out definitively here seems curious to me. And also to Tom Warren of The Verge, who interviewed Phil Spencer and asked the following. Question: if the goal is more people playing games and more people discovering them, why just these 4 games and not more? You say you want to learn from these, but surely, if they're hugely successful and you see that more people are playing them, then you'll do more in the future, right? Phil answers, yeah, but we haven't seen that yet. We're obviously one of the biggest publishers on PlayStation and Nintendo today when you think about the Activision, Blizzard, and Bethesda lineup of games. So we know what it means to ship games on Steam, PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox. These are games that are originally launched on Xbox. They were Xbox branded games, and we want to see what happens, because going and doing the development work to bring them to new platforms is real work. We want to make sure that the return makes sense. We want to make sure the audience that's there has an appetite. Maybe they don't. So Xbox is in a wait-and-see approach with regards to the value of porting games to other platforms. I suspect sales of Hi-Fi Rush, a critically acclaimed platformer, will motivate the number crunchers at Microsoft to run all kinds of projections for larger titles like Indiana Jones or the next Doom game, if they haven't done so already. Moving on to hardware, Sarah Bond confirmed hardware will remain a core part of how Xbox plans to engage with its customers going forward, even revealing that they plan to explore more form factors for hardware and that the next console would see the largest technical leap from generation to generation. More hardware news is going to be shared this holiday, which may indicate another reveal at the Game Awards, similar to how the original Xbox Series X reveal occurred in December of 2019. As for Game Pass, shortly after revealing Diablo 4 would be the first of Activision Blizzard's titles to enter the service on March 28th, Sarah Bond very casually dropping that Game Pass is at 34 million subscribers. Though when you consider the last reported number was 25 million back in January of 2022, and in September of 2023, Xbox rolled in all existing Xbox Live Gold subscribers into the service, it really looks like Game Pass hasn't seen very much growth, and surely a far cry from their original targets they had of nearly 100 million subscribers by the Generation 10 launch. Sarah made sure to mention that Xbox is seeing the largest monthly active users they have ever had, along with double-digit growth rates on PC and cloud. Though this seems a bit disingenuous while technically true, as this is no doubt due to Xbox being able to claim recently acquired Activision Blizzard's monthly active users and growth as their own, muddying the waters a bit on what is the growth of the core platform outside of this inclusion. Game preservation and content libraries potentially being in jeopardy given a possible strategy change have also been put to rest. Phil Spencer had this to say.
You know, as we talk about cloud in the wider entertainment industry, there's conversations about streaming. How is that impacting how I own my content that I've invested in? So what can we say about our stance around game preservation?
Yeah, you know, one of the highlights for me of being in this position was getting to stand on stage when we announced back compat coming to Xbox One. Like, it was fantastic. People were reading the teleprompter before I could read it. I'm a slow reader, and just feeling the energy in the auditorium as we were saying that and online. You know, one of the cues I think us as being part of Microsoft take is looking at Windows and how Windows over decades has maintained software compatibility with things that are built on it. Like, I can still go back and play some of the games that I love playing on Windows from decades ago, and it will still run. And we try to bring that same view to consoles. It's harder in console because the line between what the hardware is and what the game is in consoles is traditionally, it's tighter, which makes compatibility, you end up doing these generational compatibilities that we've built. But I will say compatibility, the ability to not only play the games, but my saves are still there with our cloud save systems to try to keep the services up as long as we can so that people can play, is a tenet of what we are as Xbox. It's at our foundation. And when we look at future hardware generations and what we're gonna support, making sure that we respect, which is the word I use, respect the investments that people have made in Xbox going forward, is fundamental. And the fact that you get entitlements when you buy a game from us on both Windows and Xbox also means you have the ability to play that game across a multitude of devices, which I think furthers the compatibility of the games that you own.
Not surprising, this seemed to be like one of the weirder concerns. Microsoft is leaning heavily into digital more now than ever, and more than any of the other 3 platforms. So there's no logical reason that digital content would be in jeopardy. Game Pass games coming day and date is still the MO moving forward, though I still expect that this will change in the future, given how we see the economics of this business model typically play out in adjacent industries. Matt Booty capped off the podcast confirming that they have 10 major releases coming this year, including Indiana Jones, Hellblade 2, Avowed, Aura, and Diablo 4's expansion, Vessel of Hatred, and that the other 5 are being reserved for their June showcase, which was also revealed to be in the works. Overall, some interesting insights into the business. The confirmations of exclusivity for certain titles, but not necessarily for others, still appears quite intentionally unclear, so Xbox can access additional revenue for competing platforms as they see fit. Hardware continuing was something we expected, with Xbox still eager to be a more powerful platform than any other, as a way of differentiating itself in the console space. Game Pass growth continues to be intentionally obfuscated, though we know it's slow from Circana data and the inclusion of the Xbox Live Gold rollover numbers. This does not make 34 million subscribers look very good. Microsoft also confirmed that Xbox Game Pass will only be available on Xbox, quelling rumors that it may be migrating to other platforms. Though I suspect this is more so due to the fact that revenue splits on competing platforms may make this a very unattractive option for Microsoft. And who's to say Sony or Nintendo is really interested in allowing a major platform like Microsoft to export its greatest strength in Game Pass to their platform? We've seen that Game Pass cannibalizes sales, and in fact has trained their consumers to not buy games and rather wait for them to be included in the service. It seems unlikely Sony or Nintendo would want to encourage their consumers to sort of emulate that spending behavior by allowing something like Game Pass to take root on their platforms. It is sure to be an exciting year. Some unknown games coming later this year to be revealed in summer with their showcase, as well as the new hardware being officially revealed in holiday. I think Microsoft did well to retain their brand identity and communicate what the core essence of the brand is moving forward, and yet still open the door for themselves to walk through in the future should they decide they need to lean on game sales via competing platforms. That's going to do it for me. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.